All right, Tundra Nation, welcome back to the channel. We are live. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel as I try to do this. There we go. Welcome back to the channel today on the Tundra Nation. Yes, I didn't screw it up this time. I almost did, but it didn't. We
Good
have
job.
episode, what is it, 8? Are we on 8? I think something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever the doodad says up in the title, the description, the thingamajig. We are on episode something of the Tundra Nation, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are still alive, we are still breathing, and we are still damn good looking and having a fun time. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch on that first statement, but we are having a good time. Are you having a good time, Hypo?
I'm always having a good time with you.
You are always having a good time. Oh, with me. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm always having a good time with you.
Aww.
Little hashtag bromance,
Thanks, buddy.
Right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This our 8th-ish episode. 9? Okay, maybe not. 8, 9, 7, plus or minus 1. Yeah, whatever we're at.
Numbers are a construct.
Yeah.
Just like time.
After you've done as many episodes as we've done, it all it's kind of like getting past 30. Like, you just stop caring, like, what your age is. And like, I honestly couldn't tell you right now if I'm 33 or 34. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, but welcome to the show, guys. Let's go through a bit of a quick little roll call here. But before we do so, I do have to say something. Party on, Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
Yes! Hypo, who got it today?
Fuck. Looking at the bottom of the chat here because I just opened it up. I'm gonna say, ooh, let's go with Crazy Eyes.
Ooh, it's a rare occasion when Hypo gets it wrong. Scott P79 gets the first. Crazy Eyes,
Scott,
a close
number
2. Rectex saying, what's ip? I believe he meant to say, what's up? Crazy Eyes says,
It is Internet Protocol.
Yes.
And for you nerds out there, that's very important.
It could also be intellectual property.
Oh, shit. You right.
I know.
You're right.
Rectex in the house. Mike saying 3rd, even though he's not, but hey, we'll give it to you. Capitalist saying, so close. Let's see. Meatball 150 saying, made the jump to 5'7" by 28. Lord help me. Yes, Lord help you, sir. Lord help you real good. Let's see. N7X Ranger says, Hypo gets a hug, but Tyler doesn't. That's fine with me. Who else? We got Dickie B is saying the usual. Tequila, vodka, and rum. That literally sounds like the worst hangover I've ever had. JBox702 saying, what's up, nation? What's up? Right back to you, JBox. Happy to have you here on this glorious Saturday night. Man, we have a hell of a show to, all the shit to talk about. I actually had something prepped and ready that I was going to do on the intro that I totally forgot. We'll do it after roll call here. Pew Pew Park is in the house. He says, haven't had any alcohol since I got to rinse my palate / soul after taste testing some White Claw. So you're not a fan of what Brandon's new favorite drink is, then. I see. Delance Stevens is in the house. My good buddy Delance.
Oh, shit, Delance.
He's here already. Canadian AR-15 guys in the house. He says, contrary to popular belief, there are still laws while drinking clause. Do not tell that to Mose in our Discord. Because that is, whenever he signs on to play video games with us, that is literally the first thing that he says every single night. Who else do we got in the house? We got a lot of the same. Meatball, Rectech, Delance. Anybody else new? We got Brother Panda. Brother Panda saying, what are we talking about tonight? We'll get to that here in just a second. There'll be a teaser video of tonight's show coming up here in just a minute or two once we finish up roll call, and then we'll dive into housekeeping. Carnage 130 or 1138 says, your local Carnage Cares representative, excuse me, let me do this right. Your local Carnage Cares representative here. We're hoping that everyone is having a great night out there in the nation. Got a little bit of new equipment here with me, too, that I get to play around with. Crazy Eye saying, I'd say Jameson, Makers, and Crown are the top 3. Oh, we're talking whiskeys here. All right, fair enough. Laugh Turd saying, what's Carnage Cares? Laugh Turd, keep an ear out for our sponsor tonight, because our sponsor tonight was curated by Carnage Cares. And they are a fantastic company, worthy of your support, love, and, I don't know, something else. Let's see. Yeah, we got Mark Linneman. Mark Linneman dropping the hang loose. Hey, Betty. Hey, Betty. Hey, buddy. Hey. Oh, hey there, bud.
Hey there,
Oh,
hey there, bud.
Oh, hey there, hi there, ho there, bud.
Oh dear.
Hang loose, right back to you, I guess. Is that the proper response? I don't even know. Scott Pig saying, yeah, right back to you, Scott. Thanks for joining, bud. Happy Saturday to you. Let's see. Noob Crastinator's in the house. Dr. Cat Milk is here. Called into work at 2. Made it back in time. My man. Always here for the Tundra streams. Brother Panda again. Let's see. Albert Trujillo says, hashtag Tundra Nation, what's good from the 714 sunny Southern California. Outstanding, my friend. Way to represent the nation behind enemy lines. Keep up the good fight, and we love you long time. And he also goes on to say, much love to all the Tundra Nation. What a guy. I like this guy. He seems all right. Just don't randomly show up behind me and poke me with anything. Mike, he says, woohoo! Uncle Mike's here. Uncle Mike and I have been talking on Facebook here for a couple of days. Seems like a pretty sweet dude. Thanks, Uncle Mike, for all the kind words that you said. Tufu's in the house, of course. Boog Brand is here. We know who Boog Brand is. Guys, if you want some awesome, like Boog-related t-shirts like what Hypo's wearing here, check out Boog Brand. Hypo, can you get a link in the chat for me to Boog Brand's website? And I believe Boog Brand, help me out here. I believe we have an affiliate code to where you can save a little bit of cash on that t-shirt purchase. I don't know exactly how much it is because I'm terrible. Megan McNamara, also known as Megan Lindley, because she hasn't changed her YouTube last name, which is understandable because nobody ever does that. She's in the house, my beautiful wife. Empty-headed gamers here. We got Roto, Ranger of the Orders, in the house. Roto, you've been crushing it, man. I love the motivation I've seen from you recently, and just keep up the good work, dude. You know you got this. You know you fucking got this. Ben W says, I'm pumped to see what's on tonight's show. You should be, because holy shit did I do something cool today. Let's see. Empty-headed gamer.
It still freaks me out seeing Ben W, by the way.
Oh, is that Ben? Because
I'm like, no, it's not.
Oh, it's
that's
not
what really freaks me out.
Oh,
that's
that is
my brother.
Oh, no. Good old Zach.
Yeah, there's another Ben W out there.
Good old Zach Hags here. Hey, Zach, stick around for about 5 minutes, man. I got maybe a little bit longer. I got something to say to you publicly here on the channel. I would very much like to get that out there. It is not a declaration of love, I promise. I'm not going to go that far yet, but let's just say you're getting close. All right, let's go through what I originally had planned for the opener here. We have something cool for you guys. We got to do something really, really cool today, courtesy of our good friend Zach Haig here in the chat. Zach is, if you guys don't know, Zach is the gentleman who owns ROE Defense, the gun shop that we filmed the What It's Like to Work at a Gun Shop skit at. He's kind of the guy with the darker beard that plays a couple of characters in the background, like the guy answering the phone about all the 9mm calls. So do us a favor, and if you're looking at picking something up, check out ROE Defense on their website, on Facebook, on whatever social media platform that you like. Tufu says, Zach, y'all have any 9mm? Yeah. Actually, they do. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest price, just because nobody has good prices on ammo anymore. But do me a favor and support one of my good friends and their business, and check out ROE Defense, Romeo Echo Oscar Defense. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on their website. You can find them via Google, and they've just been a humongous help to the channel. Thank you, Zach, for everything that you do, buddy. Let's watch a quick video of what happened to me today. And now this is a super rough, super uncut thing, and there will be something a little bit crazier, cooler, and better coming. But this is a teaser for you guys. Check it out. All right, we're going to go on an expedition, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go see the actual camera crew. In reality, I just sit around and look like I'm busy. These guys do the real work, so just don't tell them I'm doing that. And we'll keep this ruse up for as long as we can. Fake it till you make it, right? This is not a bad way to spend a Saturday afternoon. It really isn't. Yeah, you hit that water pretty hard.
Am I muted, Tyler? Okay. Ranger's saying that I sound like I'm on my old mic setup, or like internal mic.
We just watched 2 cars get crushed. What?
I said fine to you.
What's the thoughts? What's the reaction?
Okay.
10 out of 10 scale for an erection.
How about that spicy slow-mo class?
Yeah, 20 out of 10 erection status.
Maybe we should stop talking about erections when we're in a group together. It's odd.
We are standing kind of close.
Exactly.
All right, we're approaching a wild camera crew, so everybody be real quiet. Try not to startle them in their natural environment. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that guy right there. He's so peaceful. He's so peaceful. Look at just how pristine that camera form is. Look at that lean. It's an epic lean. Let's see if we can get closer without scaring him. Oh yeah, don't mind the tank either. Look at that. It is a good noise. We're very close now, so we have to be extra quiet. Try not to startle them. All right, we're gonna go on an expedition, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go see the actual camera crew. In reality, I just sit around and look like I'm busy. These guys do the real work, so just don't tell them I'm doing that. And we'll keep this ruse up for as long as we can. Fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah, I know. Toofy told me.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Didn't realize there was actual audio being played in the background. We weren't talking too much shit about you, I swear. We have our little special guest of the evening, the extra special guest, Mrs. Ellie Bean, kicking all over the place. Look at this. Look at this. She's almost getting ready to balance herself up. Look at how big she's getting. The little bean is here. Oh, she wants Daddy's headset real bad. She wants Daddy. This is distracting. This is distracting. Yes, everybody say hi to the beaniest of beans that has ever beaned, and she is just infatuated with this headset right now. Look at that face. Look at that face. She's like, oh my goodness. Ellie Bean, say hi to the nation. Can you say hi to Tundra Nation? Hello. That's Daddy's nose. That's Daddy's nose, honey. And you're trying. She's eating the headset currently. This is what happens when you have a 1-year-old. Born out of 2 very ADD-stricken parents. She just wants everything. Yes.
Ooh, shiny. Ooh, shiny.
Look at them teeth. Look at them. Oh dear. That's my eyeball, sweetheart. Yes, and we're eating the headset again. Yep, we're eating the headset again. Yes, I love it. I love it. Yeah, she is getting huge, Dickie. she's a long way from where she came. For those of you guys who haven't followed the birth and life of little Miss Ellie Bean here, she was 2 pounds 4 ounces when she was born. 2 pounds 4 ounces. And
Ben W says it's our eyeball comrade.
Yes. And look at her now. She's kicking butt, taking names, and she's standing up, working on that balance on her own, grabbing Daddy's eyeball, and or our eyeball, I guess. Slobbering all over her hand and then rubbing it on my face. Thank you, my dear. I love you. You're lucky. You're cute sometimes. That's what I'll say. Ranger of the Order says, actually, Megan can probably answer this question. Ranger of the Order says, who does she get the big head from? And this might be a surprising answer.
This actually comes from my side of the family. My grandfather had a big head. My dad somewhat has a big head. My brother does. So it runs in the family of big-headedness. So that's where she gets it from.
I'm going to respond to that with lies.
He says lies.
Tyler's head is gigantic.
Hello. I do have a big dome. It doesn't help, definitely. It doesn't help. Can you wave to the nation? Yeah, wave to the nation, love. Yeah. Can you clap? Are you going to clap for the nation? Yes. Yay! Good job, my love. All right, it is bedtime for the little bean. It's bedtime for the little bean. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the little Ellie Bean and, of course, the most important part of the Tundra Nation, Mama Mego. Let's give them a round of applause in the background. Thank you, Mama Mego, for doing everything that you do so the show can go on. We love you. The entire nation loves you, and they all appreciate... they all appreciate... Oh, she's so cute. They all appreciate you giving me a couple hours every Saturday night to make sure I can entertain these idiots and have a grand old time. Guys, give Mama Mego a round of applause in the chat. Let's see him. Very nice, very nice. All right, Little Bean, I love you. I love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's sleepy time for Ellie Bean. It's your bedtime. It's actually past your bedtime. Yeah, I know, Tufu. She's kicking, she's waving, she's saying mama, dada, she's saying pop, pop, nana. She's getting big, dude. She's getting big. It's crazy how quickly time flies. But hey, what did you guys think of that video that I showed? Kind of sweet, right? Like, I got to do that today for free.
That explains the gigantic fucking smile on
I
your
know,
face.
man. I've had like literally the best day in the world. I got to play with tanks all day long. Now, full disclosure, I didn't get to drive any because there was an event going on. But we literally were just like playing like around tanks all day long. We got to sit in a Humvee and get Bryce, the camera guy, up in the cupola, up in the turret. We got chased by a Sherman for a couple of laps around the track that they have. It was bananas, and that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. But before we do that, we're going to get into some quick housekeeping. If it's your first time here in chat, if it's your first time here in chat, make sure to use the @TundraNation or @TundraNation tag to let me know. Just say, hey, @TundraNation, hey, it's my first time here, and I'll do my very best to give you a shout out. If it's not your first time here, then hey, we welcome you back, and we appreciate your return. If you guys are fans of the channel and would just like to experience more of the Tundra Nation, there is a link in the description below to this fancy thing called Discord. And yes, Tundra Tactical does have its own official Discord server. If you guys want Tundra Nation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm telling you, this is the place to be. It's a cool community filled with a wickedly cool group of people, and we have a ton of fun. I'm sure, I could talk to you all about it today, but I'll let the Discord members out there in Tundra Nation land tonight tell you how much fun they have on Discord. So if you are a member of the Discord in the Tundra Nation, tell them how awesome of a community it is to be in, and one of the reasons why you like being there. I'll let you guys take care of that as I move on to the next thing. If you guys are feeling a little bit more generous and maybe really, really like the Tundra Nation, and want to support us a little bit more, maybe on the financial end of things, we have a couple of different ways of you being able to go about doing so. Right now, obviously, because we switched channels, we don't have the super chat option because we haven't hit 1,000 subscribers yet. Normally, that would be one. But our preferred methods, because we don't like giving YouTube 33% of your money to support gun content censoring, the main ways that we want you guys to look into donating to the channel is via Patreon, using the website or using the URL www.patreon.com/TundraTactical. And then the preferred method is direct through PayPal using the email address Tyler@TundraTactical. And that is Tyler@TundraTactical.com. TYLER@TundraTactical.com. And while I'm on that subject, let's get a couple of shout outs out of the way. We got Meatball 150 dropping the $20 straight to PayPal. Thanks, Meatball. Every week this guy drops $20, and he's a freaking champion, man. Thanks for supporting the channel as long as you have. And then our good friend Dickie B dropping the $50 direct to PayPal. Thank you very much, Dickie. Once again, a weekly supporter, dropping $50 into the show, making sure that we can afford new cameras or new audio gear. And seriously, check this out. That's the new board right there, baby. Look at that. You can see my voice. It's nuts. Oh, hey, check this out. I finally got a monitor stand too, like a dual monitor stand. So my monitors are back up off my desk, dude. I've reclaimed so much desk space. It's nuts.
So much space for activities.
It is a lot of space for activities. But so we appreciate all you guys' support. Almost all the money goes right back into the channel for things like monitor stands, soundboards, camera equipment. We just got a brand new lens for the camera. So it goes into giving you guys a better experience as well. So please with if you guys don't know, we are one of the victims of YouTube's latest demonetization effort. So pretty much all of our videos at this point in time are systematically getting demonetized. I think we've had over 100 demonetizations this past week. So when that happens, a lot of the income goes away, and we have to look to our fans to help make that up so that I can continue doing this in a full-time capacity for you guys, and that is what we're looking for. So if you guys feel like supporting us, find us either on Patreon, patreon.com/TundraTactical, or direct via PayPal, and help support us there. If we can get just a couple of new people every week to do this once a week, then hey, we're going to be able to continue this on indefinitely, because I know we have the best fans in the world, and you guys are fucking wild and crazy and have done stupider things in your life other than support two bald fucks on the internet talking about guns. Occasionally, because sometimes we don't even talk about guns. Sometimes we just go off in fucking tangents and be idiots the entire night. And for whatever reason, people still watch. Who knew?
Yeah, I don't know. People are weird.
Who freaking knew? Hypo. Should we go into... Actually, let's take the hot take tonight. Let's take the hot take. We'll go into Hypo's hot takes.
Sure.
We'll round the hour out with tank talk, and then we'll finish off with so since you were gone last week. Yeah, I know. Should I put the reverb on when I do that? So, hold on. Since you were gone.
Since you were gone. Wait.
Oh, nope.
Since you were gone.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so since you were gone last week, I was like, oh god, I haven't done a show without Hypo in so long. I need a filler segment, so I brought back top comments of the week.
Oh yeah, I saw that,
and I had a ton of fun doing it. So Ranger put together a few for us tonight to go over and talk about. And we'll be doing back half of the hour, or back half of the show. We'll do. I'm assuming there'll be a little runoff, but we'll do Ask Tundra Nation, or top comments of the week, and Ask Tundra Nation to round out the show. We'll do a little bit of Hypo's hot takes. We'll round the first hour out with tank talk from what happened today, and then we'll do the rest. Ryan Burton just dropped $15 into the PayPal. Thank you very much, N7X Ranger. You're a champion, and we love you long time. Definitely don't have my Puerto Rican mode on tonight, so that's just for you, a little inside joke. Hypo, hit me with some hot takes tonight, homie.
Right before that, though, some shameless self-plugging is next week. A good friend of yours and mine, Mr. Boot Brand, Rebels Retribution Tactical Pineapple, has started his own YouTube channel. Oh, and you're going to be on too, aren't you, bitch?
Well, not next week.
No, the week. 2 weeks following.
No, continue on. This is your bit, dude. Like, don't put me in this.
Yeah. Don't screw me up here. Anyway, our very own Tactical Pineapple has started a YouTube channel to do some live stream content to support his brand, and as well as free speech. And I'm going to go ahead and drop a link here in the chat for this. It is for open mic next week, Friday, approximately this time.
Yep.
I will be on. If you guys don't have enough of me, come see me. We're going to have a talk. It's going to be two guys talking about...
I'm totally there. Like, I'm going to watch you flounder and fail. I'm just kidding.
Dude, yeah. Watch me flop around and fucking drown. No, it was a good show. Last night he had Josh and Josh from Black Diamond Guns and Gear, and it was a phenomenal show. Those guys are great. And any love we can give him for this endeavor, we should absolutely do.
I agree.
So that is my set. If you guys want to see Tyler, he's going to be on in 2 weeks, I believe. I think he has Mark on after me. I think that's the schedule.
I don't know.
He can correct us. We could speak for him though, because he doesn't have a voice right now. That's lovely. That's my favorite thing to do, actually.
Empty-headed Gamer and Crazy Eyes both say subbed.
Good men.
Yep, good guys.
Yeah. His channel's all about free speech and saying whatever is necessary, no matter what.
Plus, the t-shirts are friggin' awesome. The t-shirts
they're
are friggin'
so
awesome.
I'm jealous. Ours are not as nice, and we need to step the game up. We might have to put them out of business.
We got Mario Mechanic Molina subbed, Bryce Knudsen subbed, Rectech subbed as well. Canadian Air 15 guy says subbed. Mario says support the family. Damn right, Mario, guys. I want every single one of you guys in chat right now to go subscribe to the link that Hypo posted, and make sure you catch Hypo live next week. It says 8 p.m. Central on Fridays. Yes, that is.
That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be rushing from work, and I'm gonna be completely fucked up. I'll be wearing a suit, and I'll be tired. I'm just gonna get on here and be like, I have made mistakes.
I've made a huge mistake.
Yes.
Classic.
Okay, Gob.
Yep, classic. They're illusions, Michael.
All right. Oh, God. That's a good impersonation of him, actually.
What's that?
That was a really good impersonation of him.
That they're just
I've
illusions,
made
Michael.
a huge mistake. Illusions.
That's one of my secret hidden talents is I'm a Job impersonator.
Oh, dude, yeah, Job, aka Gob.
Yep, Gob.
The question is, will you have a
hype.
banana stand one day?
There's always money in the banana stand. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
All right.
Let's
Hypo's
hit some
hot takes.
hot takes tonight, right?
I wanted to kind of capitalize on your fortune and fame from the last video that was yeah.
Where is it, and
I
how
like
do I
writing
acquire it?
that would be on Tundra Tactical's YouTube page. I could link it if you wanted to, but the people here probably already know.
I know. Congratulations to us on 50K, right?
50 fucking K. Congratulations to you.
We're kind of approaching
the rest of
a big deal. Maybe
kind
double that number, and then we'll actually be a big deal. Who knows? Or we'll just be giant douchebags.
Yeah, that's pretty much standard for us.
Yeah, that's the standard.
It's a baseline. So my hot take is not necessarily a hot take, so to speak, but I kind of wanted to, like, commentary, and we could talk a little bit about new gun owner tips.
Ah, yeah, right on.
And a couple of things that interested me about the latest video. So I think we'll work backwards from the end of the video to the beginning.
Okay.
And when we get there, we'll stop.
Okay.
But I think one of my favorite things that you had mentioned about that was not starting with a polymer 80.
Okay.
Or a 80% in particular.
Yeah.
It made me chuckle thinking about you with power tools. Honestly.
Oh yeah. Just putting power tools in my hands is the greatest mistake humanity has ever made. Bryce can speak to this.
Yeah.
Like, I used a power sander one time and I almost lost my forehead.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It just happens. Like I just like I hurt myself whenever I use power tools. I'm not a power tool kind of
dangerous tool, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of boog, I mean, you figured one of those, or the tip at least.
Just the tip. No, like the funny thing is, like I used to like fix jets. Like I use power tools all the time. I know.
Genuinely.
Why do you think I lost all my hair?
And I duck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I might have worked on that one.
Yeah. I meet Hypo for the first time. His first reaction was, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Get out of here, run. Go ahead, continue on. Sorry.
Thoughts on polymer 80 loaders. While I agree, let's take a double.
Damn it. Hold on.
Side seat.
Hold on. I gotta figure out why this is happening. Guys, give me just a second to see what's going on.
Thank you, Ranger. I too care about how I sound. I'm very vain. And I'm mostly talking right now to give you levels.
I'm gonna try something here real quick. All right. I switched up the scene inputs. Give me a test 1 2 test 1 2. Test 1 2. Bye, Zach. Okay, now we can't hear Hypo at all. Stand by. All right, give me a test 1 2 again.
1 2.
Okay, they should be able to hear you now.
Can you guys hear me? What's the frequency, Kenneth? You too, wink, can become a YouTube star.
All right, guys. Does that sound any better for Hypo? Okay, Hypo's good. Hypo's good.
What was my problem?
I honestly have no idea. I switched the scenes. It's the exact same inputs. It's the literal 100% exact same inputs.
The scenes carry across that mixed mono.
It's both were mixed to mono.
Okay, because that was like the fucking the end all for that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
dude. This like I said, this is the challenge. It's like there's literally no change in the inputs to the outputs here, and just I clicked one button and something happened. So we're continuing on with what you were saying about the Poly 80s.
What I'm gonna do is over to use delay effect just to fuck with you.
And I
Like
click
right now.
reverbed. So let's continue back on with our hot takes here. So me and Power Tools, terrifying, literally terrifying. Like the scariest movie you've ever watched, coupled with nuclear Armageddon, coupled with your testicles being slowly cut off with a dull butter knife, is not as scary as me with Power Tools.
True. So let's flip that though. Say somebody is completely adept at
Adept or inept?
No, adept.
Adept. Okay.
They're quite skilled at using power tools. They're very mechanically inclined. They have engineering backgrounds, whatever, and they endeavor to begin with a polymer lower,
Sure.
polymer 80. Do you still stand with that decision that you probably should go with something that's manufactured?
Yeah,
and
I do.
While I agree with that, I think that you can get the same results, but you wouldn't have. You're dying over
Sorry,
there.
I'm looking at chat right now.
What are you laughing at? You're
Empty-headed
killing me.
gamers comment.
Let me look here. So when he's saying I shouldn't lend you my do not give him any tools.
I'll open like a circumcision like business with those things.
Yeah. You become a Moya.
Yehuda will be happy.
Yeah.
Continue on. Sorry.
Oh, and so you stand up by that decision though that regardless of your ineptitude or aptitude,
mm-hmm.
you probably should start with a manufactured pistol.
Yeah.
Or rifle lower.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is, like I don't doubt anybody's like. Here's the thing. the baseline is so low with me in terms of like handyman stuff. Like I know enough to be dangerous, but somebody's losing an appendage if I work long enough on something with a power tool. So I'm not necessarily applying that thought process to anybody else when I say that. What I'm saying is it's kind of like the comparison of like getting a Glock first before you get a Checkmate. Like if the Checkmate's your first gun,
mm-hmm.
you never know what. I mean, you can appreciate it definitely, but you really don't know the intricacies and like all of the singular bits to appreciate because you never own the Honda Civic. When you own the Honda Civic before you own the Ferrari and you grow into it, you really get to appreciate it that much more. And it's kind of the same comparison when you have that baseline, when you have that stock standard or that either like a bone standard or something that is manufactured from a gun company, and then you go out, let's say you are a pretty handy person, and then you slam it, like you just crush it, and you got this gun running like a top. How much more satisfaction is there for you when you know that, holy shit, like I beat the crap out of this thing and I made it myself. So
I'm better than Sly.
Right? That's not hard. That is not hard. You could put an autistic 2-year-old in a machine shop and they could be better than Sky. But that might have been a little too harsh. But
I don't know. You
quote
the trigger shot.
Yeah, to quote my last video, I stand by my convictions.
So going back to that, like you'd mentioned the Glock, and this kind of all ties together, and that's what I loved about this video. One of the things was there was a lot of flow.
Oh, thank you.
You go to something like a Glock, which people love to hate on, Glock fanboys.
They love to
me
love and they love
included.
to hate on. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of a standard, right? It functions. It does what it needs to do, and it does it reasonably well. It's not the greatest.
No, but it is
Not
literally the best-selling handgun in the fucking world for the last, like, what, 35 years, 30 years?
There's very good reason that the majority of police forces use it because
It's not a
it
mistake.
works. Yeah, it works. So what I'm hearing from you and the flow of this video is that you get something that is going to be solid, like a Glock, a 1934. You compare that to something that you built, you have a comparison.
Yeah, you have something to kind of rate yourself on at the very bare minimum. You have that benchmark is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
okay, so if, like, regardless of love it or hate it, most people could at least acknowledge that a 19 is just kind of the standard. It's, you know, maybe if you don't believe in the 19 being the standard, something like a P10C or a P320 X carry or X compact or something like that. One of those other polymer guns, right? That just the polymer series carry size guns, that compact, not subcompact, but that compact style gun. That's pretty much the most popular carry option that we have out there today, save for maybe something like the ungodly, disgusting Springfield Hellcat or the P365 being kind of the popular choices as of recent. But if you rewind the clock over the last 10 years, you have pretty much the 19 being king of the hill throughout the course of that period of time.
Yeah, its sales are going to be above and beyond every single other firearm.
Obviously, there are better guns out there. Sure, I'm sure that there are plenty of better guns out there. But in terms of versatility, in terms of functionality, and in terms of popularity, it's very tough to argue, regardless of your opinion. It's very tough to argue that there is anything that is more, we'll call it prolific, hashtag vocab, than the 19 in regards to kind of the entry into the carry society. With that being said, you know, you own a 19 or you own a similar firearm to that. I'm not necessarily saying go out and buy a 19. I'm just saying, you know, look into that class of gun. You get that first, and then when you build that poly 80 or that 80% lower, and you just crush it, right? And you just slay it. Like, now you have that baseline to compare yourself against, saying, oh, I like this because, instead of just saying, wow, this is cool. Like let's say you're a very mechanically adept person, right? But you don't have that baseline. How do you know if you did a good job or not? You know, how, like, if you don't have anything to compare it against, you know, maybe you don't have a ton of friends that shoot, and you don't have, you know, like I have the luxury of having Bryce living downstairs. So when he put together my AR-15 and we ran it against his F1, and he hung up his F1 and decided to shoot my AR, like, that was the moment in time where I was like, oh, holy cow, this thing's actually really good. Like, he did a really good job putting this together. And we picked out the right parts and everything, because it was like a $1,600 gun versus a $2,500 gun. $1,000 less in parts, but he wants to shoot this more than he wants to shoot his own gun. At least at that time. I don't know if that's still true or not, but it just, like, that's a point of pride for me, saying, hey, that's my gun. Now, granted, once again, I'm not a mechanically inclined person. I rely on others to do that for me, because it's not my thing. I'm an entertainer, and that's where my effort, quote unquote, that's where my effort goes. Bryce is great with all the mechanical stuff, so he's a good friend to have, because when I have something that I want to get together and put together, he's there, and he's always like, oh, you want to build a gun? Well, you don't have to ask me twice. So he says, at Tundra Nation, the trigger in your gun is still better than mine. Thanks for the shout out to our good friends at Airborne Arms. The trigger in my firearm is the Airborne Arms Geronimo trigger. If you guys are looking for a trigger for an AR-15, check out my good friends over there. Completely endorse them. Multiple people in this chat now have the Airborne Arms Geronimo trigger, or at least have shot it, and they can tell you all about it. It's not just me. It is the best single stage trigger, in my opinion, on the market today, for the $200 and under price range. Continue on, Hypo.
Oh, wow. Wow, I just completely got derailed.
It happens here. Happens here
Yeah,
often.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so we were talking about the Glocks
Hmm.
and your recommendation, you and Eric's recommendation is that is a good place to start, and that being because you feel that's a good baseline,
Yeah, it's just a baseline. It's a
right?
standard.
So would you say that 9 millimeter also could be considered
Oh,
that?
100%. Yeah. I mean, like the bit with 9 millimeter goes way, 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 way deeper. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I just looked at it, Boog. That's really funny. You should look at Memeville at a certain point and see the Megamind meme in Discord. If you guys want to know these behind the scenes like inside jokes, you have to join the Discord. It's good, I promise you. Yeah, it's funny. It's pretty funny. Um,
Ellie's first meme.
Yeah, don't be sorry at all, Roto. That's really really funny. I like it a lot. So your question is like, would 9 millimeter kind of be considered that same standard, right?
Yeah, that entry level
So
safe place.
I'd say yes and no at the same time. Well, actually, yes and yes, but for a different reason. So yes, the first yes goes to yes, it is 100% the standard at this point in time in the current economy being what it is with the shortages and everything. It's still the standard. In the past economy, when things were available, it was 100% without a doubt, beyond any margin or any argument, the standard. And in the future, it'll maintain the standard. One of the things that we did an Ask Tundra Nation video recently with our good friend Oleg, and we talked about how does a caliber become timeless, right? So the 9 millimeter, you could argue that at least in the United States there are probably maybe 4 or 5 calibers that have been like kind of classified as timeless. You could say like the 9 mil, the 45 ACP,
Serviceable calibers.
5.56, 308, and maybe 0.6 would be the 5 calibers that I would choose as kind of like the timeless calibers. And this isn't like a playing favorites thing. This is looking at it objectively over the course of a period of time. Like obviously you got your 270s, your 243s, and other very popular calibers. But if you look at it over the span of a period of time, right? How does a caliber become truly timeless? And you could argue very successfully and very accurately that 9 millimeter could pretty much be considered, you could say, the most timeless caliber, the most popular over the course of a period of time since its inception. That was a bad one. Sorry. No, sorry. 1 second. Since its inception in 1903, 1905, something like that.
Well over 100 years of
it
accurate.
has just gone up and up and up and up and up in terms of popularity, and has kind of reached its peak now to the point where you literally cannot find it. You like, there are so many people, and obviously COVID and the whole crazy nation stuff that's going on has made ammunition very scarce. About 45 gal for life. Oh God, I hate you. But you could really like make a valid argument saying that at least at this point in time, there is no other caliber that is harder to find than 9 millimeter at this point in time.
No, you're right. And
So
I think
wouldn't
100%
that just by default define it as the baseline caliber, the most popular caliber out there?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm going with this.
We're getting deep.
Is like, generally speaking, your most popular things in any given niche or market are your baselines, are your starting points. It's what you would, if you had a good friend and you were responsible and logical, you would recommend them to try out the most popular thing because it's going to be the thing that's most available in most cases. It's going to be the thing that's just there for them to play the most with. There might be better rounds out there, right? I personally don't think so. I think 9 millimeter is the most flexible handgun round on the face of the planet, but there might be ballistically effective rounds out there, certainly. There might be better penetrating rounds out there. There might be harder hitting rounds out there, but there's not a whole lot of rounds out there that can cover the range from the ability to penetrate to the ability to hit hard. You know, that distance. There are very few rounds that can cover that gap as consistently and as effectively as 9mm can. Now, yes, some of them might be, you know, some of those versions of the 9mm might be gimmicks. They might be a little silly. I'm looking at you, rip rounds.
Rip round.
But I love how we both went there right away. Yes, 760 by 25 dick butt. Like, I'm sure, like, from a specificity standpoint, when you really boil it down, yes, there are specialty rounds out there. But if you were going to put somebody behind the handgun, or behind a handgun for the first time, like a real handgun, not like a deuce, not like a 22.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, Pew Pew Park had mentioned the 22 is probably the most timeless, and he's not wrong.
No, he's 100% right. 100%
but when it comes
right.
to serviceable calibers that are good for self-defense, 9mm all day, every day.
Yeah. So I guess that would be my long-winded answer to that question is, you know, why did I say that? Or, you know, why did we recommend that? Is because, number one, it's timeless. Number two, it has been the most consistently popular round out there. So therefore, under normal circumstances, i.e. not right now, you just have the ability to play with it more and train with it more. And let's be honest, like back when times were good, at 17 cents a round, you can get a lot of fucking mileage out of your gun.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of mileage out of your gun. Mic drop. I wouldn't actually drop this mic. It costs $400.
No, it's a very expensive mic.
I'd fake mic drop. Like I get like a Amazon. Yeah, exactly. I get like a like a Chinesium mic and mic drop that. I'm actually kind of liking this. Keep going, man. I'm liking it.
So one question that wasn't brought up to me is for new shooters, holster options, carry options. So how does somebody how would you think somebody comes to find what works best for them for holster? And I know that's a very general question, but
practice.
What do you think it's practice? Do you think it's dry fire practice?
No, well, okay. Are we talking about holsters specifically? Like, how do you select the type of holster?
How do you select your holster and your carry position?
Sure.
Because one kind of dictates the other.
Yep. Yeah, it's absolutely practice. It's trial and error. It's investing money in a couple of different holsters.
Winding up with a box full of holsters.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. Let me redefine, or let me answer your question by saying this. You've bought a gun. Your intention is to carry it, okay? Let me ask you as a new shooter, Hypo. Put yourself in a brand new shooter's shoes, okay?
Okay.
Why are you carrying your gun? Why have you chosen...
Purpose.
What purpose have you chosen to use your new carry gun for? It's obvious. It's not a trick question.
Sure. No, it's obvious. It's self-defense, always. At least in terms of that, yeah.
So what you're telling me is that in the arguably unlikely event that you need your firearm to save your life or the life of a loved one or somebody that you care about or somebody maybe that you don't care about but that's in danger, you're going to be relying on that firearm to work properly, be deployable, right?
Okay.
And I guess just in general, from draw stroke to trigger pull, you know, and everything in between, be a functioning, reliable piece of equipment, right?
Okay, so what I'm hearing is Glock 40 chest rig.
Yeah. That's not what you're hearing. Although that actually is, like, if you're in Alaska, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're fighting off bears or Tyrannosaurus.
I guess what I'm leading up to here is you're never gonna understand that if you only try one thing. So if the first gun you buy is your favorite gun till the day you die, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And I'll say that right now. Like if
I like that.
If I don't care if it's the best gun in the world. I don't care if it's even like my favorite gun. Like if you bought a Glock 19, which is in my opinion the best starter carry gun, and bear in mind, it's only my opinion, take it or leave it. Even if you buy a 19, but you subscribe to that belief saying, well, I bought a 19, it's the last gun I'm ever going to buy. It's the only gun I'm going to carry. I'm going to carry on this particular holster, 3 o'clock position or 9 o'clock position, depending on if I'm a righty or a lefty. God forbid, I'm going to carry small of the back. I'm going to carry appendix. And that's the only way I'm ever going to do it. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You are an idiot, because what you're doing is you're pigeonholing yourself and everybody else you render that opinion on into like a straw size viewpoint, a straw hole size viewpoint, saying, well, this is the only way to go. And the interesting part about people is they have influence. I'm starting to learn this, actually. They have influence on other people, and their opinions, let's say, God, I'm getting some weird noises out of my left earphone here. Let's take Hypo here. Hypo's neighbor comes to him and says, "Hey man, lot of crazy shit's been going down. I'm looking at buying a gun to start carrying around, getting my carry permit and carrying around." Well, Hypo's opinion is going to influence this guy's buying decision. So if he's not doing it responsibly, he's going to influence this guy in a bad way. He's going to impart his bias onto this one guy who might not have the same set of restrictions or wants or desires as he has. If he says, go out and get a Poly 80, Gucci the fuck out of that thing, right? Versus he goes the opposite end of the spectrum and says, hey, I got a TP9 SFX and I love it, okay? Regardless of what you say, it might not work for that individual person. Everybody else is not you. And until you've tried it all, this is so funny, because I'm essentially rendering our entire YouTube channel worthless by saying this, but everybody knew that already. Until you've tried it all, your opinion doesn't mean fuck all.
Yeah. No, that's something that's an opinion I've always had, is as gun owners, responsible gun owners, it's our duty to impart the wisdom that we don't know everything.
You know what it's, honestly, I'm going to disagree with that. In a slight sense, not necessarily the overall sentiment, because I think you're right.
No. We know more than a lot of people that don't deal with it. Yeah, that don't have the experience. But
here's the thing:
we don't know it all.
Rephrase how you say what you said the first time. Sorry.
As gun owners, we don't know everything.
Yeah. That's not what you said the first sentence, though.
I don't remember what I said. It's been a couple drinks ago.
Yeah. Long story short, I think where I was going with this is, you can say all you want to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Like I can make tips and tricks videos till the fucking cows come home.
Okay.
But the person, I have no idea who's watching my video. I have no idea what they're looking for. I have no idea what they want, what they like, what their preference is. I said this in the most recent ATN video, Ask Tundra Nation video. As much as we like to shit on stuff and make fun of people for buying things or shooting this or shooting that, like, that's just a bit. In reality, the Second Amendment is not only for people who can afford it. If you've got a G2C and you hear us just like endlessly and shamelessly ripping on you, it's not because we dislike you. It's because you're doing it right. Like, you're exercising your right to carry, right? Okay, yeah, it's a G2C. There's definitely an upgrade out there. There's definitely an upgrade out there.
But,
everyone's different.
It's a fine line, though, because, like, you get into that just as good territory.
Oh, sure.
But that's not really the case, though. It's not that it's
well,
just as good.
There's a major difference between the diehard just as gooders. And that's kind of what I was talking about at first. The just as gooders are the people that say, that G2C that I have, the last gun I'll ever buy, just as good as a Glock 19. You're fucking lying to yourself.
Pookie.
Yeah, you're lying to yourself if you say a G2C is just as good as a 19. A Honda Civic is not just as good as a WRX, or it's not just as good as a Beamer, or it's not just as good. You're lying. Like, okay, yeah, a Honda Civic Si or like something crazy like a hot hatch might be a fun car to drive. It might be good for you, but objectively speaking, it's not just as good. It just is not. There are better options out there. Are there better options for you? Maybe not. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make, is firearms purchases they're just an incredibly personal decision. And at the end of the day, if you've done your work, you've done your research, you've done the things that you're supposed to do as a responsible current and or future firearms owner, and you've come to a decision, you've tested it out, you found that it's the best gun for you, then there's literally nobody that can hang anything over your head. Because if I've got a 19 and you outshoot me with a G2C on the same course of fire, I've got literally no ground to stand on.
You can't talk shit.
Yeah,
not at all.
I can't talk shit. So, yep, I know I did. I did that intentionally. No, I did that intentionally, Bryce. I did that intentionally. And actually, I was thinking of my old car versus your car. You know, we here at Tundra Tactical, we're the shit posters of the firearms community. I think we've kind of coined that spot. Like there are other people out there that are serious about it. Thank you, Marshall. We're obviously joking. Like, if you can't tell that we're joking, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry. Like, we love you all. We love the entire
comment section.
Yeah.
On us.
We love the entire community. We really do. Like, even the idiots out there, there's a small portion of our hearts that are dedicated to those people. We really do love y'all. There's always room for improvement in any skill set. There's always room for personal improvement in your skill set using a tool. There's always a better tool out there. Oh, yeah.
Tool.
Yep. So, like, just keep that in mind when we're talking about subjects like this. Favorites are the mark of douchebags. That one option, the best thing out there, the one and done, it doesn't exist. It just does not exist.
No.
Hypo's favorite gun is different from my favorite gun. Bryce's favorite gun is different from Hypo's favorite gun. Tufu's favorite gun is different from Bryce's favorite gun. Does that make them any less effective in the hands of somebody who's proficiently trained in the use and implementation of that firearm? Fuck no, it doesn't. Now, there are certain guns out there that have, like, empirical evidence, like actual evidence saying, now these motherfuckers don't work.
Yeah, these are scary and dangerous.
Sky pistols. High point. But
the Amputite 94.
Yeah. But, like, if that's somebody's only option, why not?
Sure.
Like, why not? Like, how is that a bad call? Like, why not have something rather than nothing?
And you know what? You know, realistically, I just had one of my employees who was very happy to buy his first handgun.
Yeah. I will say this. There's an exception. There is one exception to what I just said and what you're about to say. If your new employee or if your employee bought a Zip 22, then they are still wrong.
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
No, but we were in the elevator. He's like, "Hey, I got a gun," and I was like, "Okay, what'd you get?" He's like, front sight." I was like, "Front sight? You mean high point?" "Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I got a high point." I was like,
"You're just like,
what? No. You're broke as fuck."
Yep.
And you know, I'm glad you're protecting your family with this.
It's them COVID times.
It is, but it's a starter. It's where he's going to begin, and that's his baseline. So he can only have non-disappointment moving up.
Honestly, you kind of phrase it very nicely. It's his baseline. It's not a baseline. It's a personal decision. It's your baseline. Find that thing to start. Yeah, find that gun to start everything off for you. If it's a $150 gun, if it's a $1,000 gun, if it's a $2,000 gun, if that's your baseline, go nuts. Get a fucking gun. Shoot it. Become one of us. Sorry. Hold on. One of us. One of us. One of us. Like that's the bit. Next part.
You know what? I don't remember the beginning of the video, honestly.
Ammo buying.
We watched it like 20 minutes. We went into to 9mm and then ammo buying and that kind of ties into like the last video you and I talked about live, which is just purchasing little bits at a time. Honestly, in these trying times,
A little bit of time, or a little bit at a time, all the time. Well,
all
and
the
that's
time, yeah,
you know,
constantly.
honestly, I don't think that's really relevant to these times because everyone's hurting so bad for ammo right now that it's just not. It's not feasible. But just in you know, normal times, you know, if every time you go out to Cabela's or Bass Pro or you know, Sportsman's Warehouse or Academy,
Used to be Walmart.
Yeah, yeah, it used to be Walmart. And you just picked up a box of ammo or 2 boxes of ammo every time. You know, now you don't, you know, like I said in the video, now you don't have any problem getting high on your own supply. You know, right? Like there are people out there who reload like you know, crazy fools, right? And that's not a skill set that I have, nor would it be anything that I would ever trust myself to do, because I like drinking. And I would probably drink when I reload, and inevitably there'd be a double charge in there, and I'd explode myself.
Triple.
Yep. Yeah, there'd be literally powder falling out of the bullet, or falling out of the cartridge itself. Yeah. So I think
reenacting an exploding handgun situation, or was it an AR?
It was an AR. It almost took my thumb off. It literally took my thumb. It bent it back to about here.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Boop. Yeah. My whole palm, at some point in time, I think I still have the pictures. Some point in time, this entire portion of my palm turned black. Like, that's how fucked up my hand was. And it hurt like a son of a bitch. And then I think the following week is the week we filmed How to Buy a Ghost Gun. One of the earlier videos.
Shit, really?
And if you look really closely, you'll see me wearing an ace.
I'm gonna do that.
On
yeah.
my hand.
I remember that. Holy shit! That's why.
That was the reason why.
Man.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's good.
That was the reason why.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna run downstairs. I have to take pills.
Okay, you do that. I'll talk about what happened today.
You do that because we've talked about that already.
Yes. So, guys, if you're just tuning in, or if you tuned in a little while ago and don't understand that segue, I got to play with tanks all day long today. So myself, Bryce, Jake, Rome, and Cole. I don't think I missed anybody. Obviously, Zach from a little earlier in chat. We all got to go out to this place called Drive a Tank here in Kasota, Minnesota, just outside of St. Peter, Minnesota. And we got to play with tanks all day. It was a fantastic, like literally one of the coolest days of my life. We got to watch, what was it? Was it a Challenger or no? It was a Chieftain. We got to watch a Chieftain run over 2 cars. We got chased by a long-barreled 76 Sherman in a Humvee. Yeah. Let's see what else happened. God, like there were probably 15 tanks out there today. Guys, what I'll say is if you're in the Midwest and you have a significant event coming up, maybe a bachelor party, maybe like a big birthday or something, like your dad's, you know, turning 40 or 50, or maybe you're turning, you know, we'll say a significant birthday number, or you just want to go out and have a really good time, please do me a favor. I will 100% put the small value of my name on the line and say this place is worth it. It's called Drive a Tank in Kasota, Minnesota. It was unreal. Like it was like the access to armor that you get in here. I don't even know how to describe it. I really don't, because we're sitting there, we walk in, the guy invites us in, and yeah, we're a film crew. So we might have like a little bit more access than the average person might have, but we walk into the workshop, we walk into the shop, and there's just tank upon tank upon tank upon tank upon tank upon tank, engines everywhere. There's random parts for, you know, Ma Deuces lying around. There's linked 7.62 by 39 just hanging out, you know, just, like this is our guy. Like, he's the definition of our guy. Because, you know, you look at the shop in the studio behind me, you see guns, you see camera gear, you see patches, you see some ammo maybe every now and again. But this guy has like 50 cal parts. You go into his other shop, and he's got that ski-mounted Finnish 20mm anti-tank cannon just lying on the floor. And we're pretty sure we saw a full-auto Bren covered by boxes. Like, how many people do you know? How many people do you know, Hypo, that would have access to a full-auto Bren, and it was so unimportant to them, it was just covered by boxes?
That's fucking absurd.
Like, that's how cool this guy. Like, that's a cool factor of equipment this guy has. It's beyond nuts. And the stuff that we were allowed to do today. Now, granted, we didn't get to drive any tanks because the day that we came down, it was for, you know, it was for customers. There were customers there. There were people who paid a significant amount of money to show up and do tank stuff, right? Ben, get in touch with me if you really do. I'll put you in touch with Tony, and we can get something set up. Like, there were actual people there that had paid, you know, a significant amount of money to do what they wanted to do. So, like, we didn't want to be those guys saying, like, oh, hey, can I get in too with my bulky camera gear and ruin your experience? So we'll go back down there and, you know, on our own, on an off day, and, you know, drive around and have fun and play around. But we got so much freaking B-roll today. So much B-roll footage of just cool experiences. We watched a chieftain roll over 2 cars in 240 frame per second slow-mo.
The sound is incredible of that, too. It's just,
the glass
it's beautiful.
Exploding out of the car. It was nuts. We got chased by a Sherman in a Humvee. We watched a bunch of people drive an Abbott. I don't think it was a Scorpion. I can't remember what it was. It was
So there was a T50?
Yeah, T55. There were two. I think there were 2 T55s. It was just one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. And, you know, you're talking to somebody who's been to SHOT Show, who's been to the Ivy shoot. You know, I've done, like, I've had the opportunity. I've been lucky enough to have the support of the fans and the opportunity to do some really cool shit, courtesy of our generous fans. Well, it turns out these guys have been in our backyard the entire time, and we just...
Yeah, that's crazy.
We happen to know somebody who knows the guy, or not who knows the guy. We happen to know somebody who knows the owner of this place, and did us the favor of dropping our name saying, hey, you should invite these guys down. And he reached out to us and said, hey, do you guys want to come down and film a bunch of tanks on Saturday? And I said, yeah, is this a spam call? Like I didn't believe him at first.
Is there a problem with my Windows operating system and a virus?
Like, are you a Ugandan prince that needs money or something? Like, it was so good. Like, it was too good to be true. But it literally turned out to be exactly what the guy described. It was just a bunch of gearheads, gun nuts, and dudes and gals getting together and fucking around with tanks the whole day. It was the literal greatest experience that I've had since I started my YouTube channel, I think. I think maybe my first SHOT Show and the IV-88 shoot are the only 2 experiences that I've had outside of today that have compared with this. It was so much fun. And the best part about it is, and this is a shout out to the crew that came out with me today. Closed circuit to Volk in chat, Bryce obviously in chat, Jake who's not here, and Cole. You guys were fantastic. Like, the dynamic of the crew today, normally I like in every shoot where we bring a lot of people, I always have an issue. Like, I'm a pretty laid back guy until the cards are on the table and there's something to be had or lost, and then I get really, really serious. Like, I get really serious. I think today was probably one of 4 or 5 big shoots in the history of Tundra Tactical and the Tundra Nation that I walked away saying I didn't have a single complaint. Like, I had so much fun today, I just forgot that I was filming. Or, like, I forgot that we were there to film.
That's a good sign.
Like, that was how much fun that I had. And we did, like, the best part is, we were just filming. Like, it gets better 2 weeks from now, or a week from now, or 3 weeks from now, when we actually get to drive those motherfuckers. Like, we were just there.
Please refer to the previous comments about power tools.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, you're gonna see all the chaos. Like, I'm starting my own deforestation campaign when I get behind that thing. Yeah, fuck them hippies.
Arc 2.0.
Yeah, right. Yeah. T-Rex ain't got nothing on my friggin' T55. You know, just rip it and like, you guys, the film crew that was out there today, you guys did so fantastic. Bryce, you know, this means nothing to him anymore, but Bryce is, in my opinion, literally the best camera guy in the industry, especially for, like, a guy who can just not film anything for like 6 months and then just pick it up and be perfect again. And then everybody else that we had out there today just did such a fantastic job. So thank you very much to you guys, number one. And number two, if for whatever reason, Tony, you're embarrassed enough to actually watch our stream and you see this, we thank you as well. Louise was phenomenally good. It was fantastic being a film crew working with a graduated film student. So, like, saying, like, hey, we want to do this, and she's just like, okay, I know exactly how to do this, and I'm gonna drive you around in the Humvee so you can get a perfect shot of a tank driving by parallel to you in a 2-lane dirt road. Like, do you have any, like, that might not sound like an achievement, but a tank literally takes up 2 lanes on a 2-lane dirt road, and then she's driving a 37-foot wide Humvee next to it, and somehow she makes it work. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Bryce is sitting up there getting beat to shit in the cupola, bouncing all around, trying to hold a, you know, full-on camera rig, and, you know, Bryce is being Bryce, just being an absolute friggin' champion, and, you know, he's getting beat the hell up. He's probably going to wake up with bruises on him tomorrow, and he's just like, yep, this is the greatest thing in the world. This is the greatest thing in the world, and I love it. It's just, like, he's like, you should, he messages me on the way home, you should make a blooper reel of all the times I got bounced around in the turret.
Oh man, that'd be great. Yeah, just
lot.
put like some dubstep on there.
Yeah, just he's going all over the place. It was something else, man. It was really something else. It was one of those just unique opportunities. And the best thing is, like, unfortunately you weren't there for this, Hypo, but we're sitting there playing PlanetSide 2 the other day, you know, a week ago or so, and I get the phone call from Zach, and he starts talking to me, and I normally when I take a phone call, you know, it's business related, I hit the mute button on the microphone so people in the Discord can't hear it, because I don't want, you know, like, internal stuff to become public.
Mm-hmm.
But he starts talking, I hit the unmute button and just started, like, repeating everything Zach was saying. Like, you want us to come down and drive tanks? What?
Yeah. Well, it's because it wasn't your dealer. That's why you were.
Yeah. In the future, you want us to go down and take bricks of C4 and blow shit up? Oh, you want to see how big of a round it takes to penetrate this much steel armor? Like, what? These are the things that we're going to be doing here in the near future. Courtesy
That's awesome.
Of this connection, and this goes out to our good buddy Zach Haig, who was in chat earlier, and that's the big thank you is Zach made this connection. Tony, the guy who runs Drive a Tank down in Kasota, Minnesota, was talking to
Kasota, Minnesota.
Yep, Kasota, Minnesota. Yep,
it rhymes like that.
It does.
You gotta move, man.
He was talking about wanting to build his YouTube channel, and Zach brought our name up and said, hey, you should really talk to these guys. Don't know why. We're a bunch of fucking no talent ass clowns and hacks that, have really like no idea what we're doing. The only thing that we're good at is convincing other people that we're not faking it. like let's be honest here, right?
Yeah.
But it was literally just the best time to be down there. I don't think anybody didn't have a smile on their face 100% of the time that they were there. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
You still have that fucking smile on your face.
I do. Like, I'm still going batshit crazy for it. I'm Like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to say, was that a dream?
Yeah.
Did that really happen?
We're going to do more? What?
And then I'm going to get on the phone with this guy, or I'm going to get on the phone with Zach and say, hey, next week, do you guys want to drive? I'm like, does a bear shit in the woods, sir? I would love to. Please.
You guys want to shoot the tank?
So full disclosure, he doesn't have his explosive license yet, so we cannot. And because of the way Minnesota is, he actually, I believe he can. Yeah. I don't know this for certain. I could be very wrong in saying this, and I apologize if I am. But I believe he machines his own tank rounds for the individual guns.
Okay.
So he can shoot them. I just don't believe he can transport them, because he doesn't have his explosive license. And I believe that, I don't know if it's a federal requirement or a state requirement, but you need to have at least 4 miles of open land.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
And that's very difficult to come
I know
by
4
here.
words, though.
Yeah, well, hey.
Shall not be infringed.
Yes. God, if Volk's still watching, everybody should own a Carl Gustav, right? That's a little inside joke to our crew today. Like, I don't even, like, it's very, very difficult for me to describe what happened today. Not because I'm shit-faced, because I'm not. I'm a little buzzed, but I'm not really shit-faced.
I'm looking forward to the sponsor announcement with this level of alcohol.
Yeah.
BT Dubs.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
It's so difficult for me to describe the experience that I had today, and just the pardon the pun, the caliber of awesomeness, like raw fucking awesomeness that happened today. There are no words to describe what it feels like to be standing next to just these awesome machines, number one. The joke that I made to Zach was, like, I've been out of the military now just long enough for this stuff to become cool again. Like, if it was 2 years ago, I wouldn't have cared at all, because I was just like, yeah, I hate all of this. I hate all of this.
Yeah,
this sucks. Okay? But now I've been out of the military just long enough for this stuff to be like, oh, I kind of fucking miss that, man. Like, I kind of fucking miss that. That's fucking sweet. And then, you know, you see a bunch
Let's
of
go up in a helicopter. I'll kick you out.
Yeah. Oh, God, please. It's just, as long as it's not a Chinook and the back gate isn't open, the back ramp isn't open, or you don't put me around a 16 under Station 3 disarming a bomb. I really don't know how to describe the experience that I had today. That's how cool it was. It's not cheap. I'll tell you this right now. It ain't cheap to do what these guys did today. But if you're looking for a literal, like, this term is used so often that it kind of loses its meaning, the once-in-a-lifetime experience, right? But driving a tank, like a fucking tank, and not like some like chummy thing like we're talking about getting like a BRDM2, which is actually an armored car. No. We're talking about a 50, 60 ton fucking tank.
Yep, rattles
driving
and squeals
over
and everything.
A car. Exploding glass everywhere. If you're looking to do something like that and you live in the upper Midwest, get in touch with us. Get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with this guy. Or just get in touch with him directly and just say Tundra Tactical sent you over there. You were watching a live stream and you said, damn, that sounds like a lot of money. I have disposable income. I'm going to fuck shit up. Okay? Do you wake up in the morning and want to fuck shit up? Go drive a tank. Go fucking drive a tank. That's what I almost did today. I was just around them, and I had one of the best filming days of my fucking life. It was fantastic.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Like, I didn't even get in the tank. I had my hand, like the closest I got to the driver's seat was I had my hand on it, and I still had one of the best days of my life. Imagine what it would be like to be in that driver's seat and just trucking around. Imagine what that would be like. It'd be nuts, man. So
I just can't wait for an amphibious tank.
well, I mean, we got a lot of lakes up here, so fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah. Bring it down here. We can go ford in the river.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all I got from today. It was just, like, I've said this a million times over and over and over again. It was just awesome. Like, I'm at a genuine loss for words. Like, I'm normally not at a loss for words. I can go on and on and on and on, and I'm just doing the same thing, just saying the same thing over and over again. I understand that, but it was gnarly and rad and cool and just bitching in, like, every version of the word cool, just to be there. And we didn't even drive.
I can't wait for the B-roll to get mixed in with stuff.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
That's all I gotta say. That's all
All
I gotta
right.
say.
So Tyler, how would you
Yes.
like to segue?
Yes. So based off of that information, we have a new sponsor for this week's segment of the show. And this week's segment, or excuse me, not this week's segment, but we'll call it Top Comments of the Week. This week is sponsored by, once again, Carnage Cares Incorporated. And Carnage Cares Incorporated is proud to announce, in collaboration with Tundra Tactical, its latest product, Tyler's Tactical Beard Cream. Using its proprietary blend of hydrazine, eucalyptus, and other top secret ingredients, Tyler's Tactical Beard Cream stimulates beard growth while nourishing hair and leaving your man curtain pliable, allowing you to easily style it to your particular taste. While fighting enemies on the battlefield whether fighting enemies on the battlefield or in the boardroom, Tyler's Tactical Beard Cream will leave your beard looking healthier and fuller, whatever the occasion or environment. Battle-tested and Gun Bunny approved, this cream leaves all other lesser Cosmoline-based products in the dust. Available to order from our top secret website. And be on the lookout for our latest product, Hypo's Hypnotic Beard Oil, coming to a fire base near you next week. Next week. Sorry, I butchered that one, but it's
Single greatest addition to the show ever.
right. I know.
Thank you.
I love our
Carnage
newest.
Cares.
I love our newest sponsor, Carnage Cares. They are a fantastic company.
Oh.
Unfortunately, we keep things so tight here around the Tundra Nation that I cannot yet give you any information on where to buy Tyler's Tactical Beard Cream because it's available to only a select few individuals. Interestingly enough, based on my namesake, I'm not even included in that list. I don't even have some. Hypo does. Duh. That's why his beard looks better than mine.
My bad.
Should we do a quick version of the new segment of
Yes,
the top comments
please.
of the week and then dive into some, what's it called?
Ask Tundra Nation.
There we go. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. It's almost like I've done this show before. Oh my God, Hypo just died. Hypo? Hypo?
Bruh.
Bruh. Okay, he's back. He's back. Okay, God, you scared me there.
Fucking browser crashed.
Yeah. All right, top comments of the week. Let's get this pulled up here. Stand by one. So, top comments of the week is the section of the show where we kind of have some of our, we have our moderators. We slave them out to kind of curate some of the most idiotic and funny comments of the week. And I believe that we've got 8 of them here for you today. We got 5 of them here for you today. where we're going to kind of read them and respond to them each in our own words. So, Hypo, I will read it. You will start off by responding to it, and I will follow you up, okay?
Okay. In me own words.
In me own words, or yo own words? Your own words? All right. So this one is, I unfortunately, I don't know the context because he didn't include this in there. So I can just read the comment. I don't know what this is in direct reference to in terms of videos. But I'm assuming that this is possibly in relation to the newest video. He says, this is Dumb Ohio Farm Boy. And he wants to know, or he says, ammo is so hard to find right now. How else am I supposed to practice putting rounds on target after a couple of combat rolls with my SIG P320 X5 Legion? I think I told you about that. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I just picked it up a couple of months ago. Best gun ever, hands down. Don't at me. What's your response?
Okay, so first let's at him.
What's your response to Dumb Ohio Farm Boy? Because let's be honest, I think he gets the bit.
I think he gets the bit. Also, I think he just wants to name drop his new gun more than he gives a shit about the video.
Well, of course, he has
bad
a
on
Legion.
you. Care about us more than you.
Yeah, he's got a Legion. He has to be the most important person.
Congratulations
in the
for
entire world.
having a $1,200 gun.
Yeah, $1,200
We
piece of
this.
fucking beta trash.
Woof. Oof.
Woof.
Yeah, I think he gets it though.
He gets the bet. He gets the bet.
There's been some guys though that have been questionable, and I've been like, did they not understand satire or sarcasm
we're
or
getting there.
cynicism or English?
We're getting there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're getting there. Don't worry. We didn't leave those people out. Next one comes from Ken Kaz, and he says, yeah, all we need is a bunch of liberal Antifa fucks at gun competitions and ranges. Does, quote, I just want to know how to take off. I'm not interested in learning how to land, ring a bell. Don't be idiots and train the enemy. That was a comment on one of our videos. I have no idea what video it was from. I can only assume it was from the most recent video.
That was the most recent. Yes, I saw that one, and I shit my pants 3 times over.
This guy does not get the bit. Actually, hey, how about we do this? How about like each individual comment is divided into this guy gets the bit, this guy doesn't get the bit.
I was thinking the same thing.
This guy does not get the bit. What's your reaction?
No.
Should we be
no,
training the enemy?
does not get it. No. Well, I mean,
hey, are you a shooter?
I had deeper thoughts on this.
Are you a shooter?
Are you a shooter? Do you like your guns? Okay, your political stance, albeit probably completely wrong and extremist, and you're an idiot, doesn't necessarily mean that I know that.
Excuse me, I had a cough there. In fact.
Yeah, that was really bad. You all right?
Yeah, I'm still hurt.
Should we be training everybody who owns a gun? Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Does this guy get the bit? No.
Well, so there's a difference between our want and ability to train everybody who owns a firearm and their ability to accept that training. There's a big difference.
That's true. As well as our ability to teach them what, right from wrong.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I guess now is as good a time as ever to address the hot topic issue of the week, right? I mean, you guys all know what I'm about to talk about. The fucking
there seems to be one every week in 2020.
Yeah, I know, but like this one's like egregious. It's bad. It's our XR15 bullpup friend, right? You guys know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. This Ken Katz guy, he's one of the NFAC groups. Like one of the NFAC followers, like, don't train the enemy, bro. I want my XR15 bullpup, the thing that's gonna knock you down every time you shoot it, and every time you bang it on the buttstock, it's gonna shoot around. It's like, get fucked, nerd. Get fucked, nerd. Go out and shoot a gun every once in a while. This guy, this Ken Katz guy, is literally a dude who has gone out to the range. He shot a 300 Win Mag 4 times. And that's his entire shooting experience. Because he's like, oh my god, I'm a man now. I literally feel hair growing on my pubes and my chest. And maybe that happened?
Maybe that happened. I mean, when you do touch belt feds, you start to grow some extra hair.
Yeah, you literally hit puberty. And the fact that this guy didn't hit puberty until at least according to this comment 2 hours ago, is a terribly sad thing. Because, I'm sorry, dude, your opinion literally means less than fucking nothing. It literally means less than fucking nothing. We should be we should be associating ourselves with all of the new shooters out there, regardless of their political background. Okay? If they plan on being responsible representatives of the Second Amendment community, nothing should stop us from responsibly training them, or at least guiding them to the path of responsible training. When you boil this down to don't be idiots and train the enemy, when you say that, you are the literal worst thing in America. Because what you're doing is you're saying, don't train this person because they're this person. That's the same thing as fucking racism, asshole.
Yeah.
So
it really is. And it's like the most, and it's very borderline because I do not align with any ideals and like lean towards hate
I have two requirements. I have two requirements. Can you play nice with others? And do you want to be a shooter?
Yeah, that's literally it, and everything else falls into
Who cares? Who cares?
Who gives a shit category?
Yeah. Are you white? Are you black? Are you brown? Are you purple? Are you green? Are you gay? Are you straight? Are you whatever? No. Are you cool? Can you play nice with others? And do you want to be a shooter? Yeah. If those two things are met, I don't give a fuck who you are. We're going to have some fun.
Well,
together.
And my whole issue is labeling any other American as the enemy. That
the enemy
is a personal thing, but
this guy needs this guy needs to go sit on a fucking splintered broomstick and get his shit together. No pun intended. Yep. Actually, no pun intended. This weird fucking dude, he calls himself My Dude. I've never heard of him before.
What a fucking tard. Okay.
Yeah, never heard of him before. He says, I'm not concealing a 500. I'm just happy to see you. Oh, this
we
guy.
love you, My Dude.
Nobody screenshot my face here. What a guy.
That's some reverse psychology there.
Yeah, right. Jester Actual says, see, this is a very common sense way of introducing new shooters to our world. He says, I'm just a high point, or I'm just high point because our reality ending up like the movie The Road is inevitable. Also, polymer lower, or even better, a 3D printed lower will help reserve weight for something. He says for more ammo, but he goes on to say, wink, wink. I think this guy.
You know what though? Points to him for mentioning the movie The Road, which is a fantastic fucking movie.
It is a good. It's
very slow.
Dark. Yeah, very dark, very slow. But
it's like The Last of Us without zombies.
Yep, the build-up's worth the payoff. The build-up is worth the payoff. The final bit that we have for not Ask Tundra Nation, but top comments of the week, curated by the one, the only N7X Ranger. By the way, we should give him a little credit, right? N7X Ranger. You aren't a complete failure. You have done this week some justice, and we love you most of the time. He says, he puts on TS Ghost comment. He says, "Wait, is this a Tundra Tactical video that isn't all sarcasm and is genuinely helpful? I never thought I'd see the day, LMAO." I don't know. Do you think that we are outside? Let me ask you a question, Hypo. And let me ask you a question by extension to the Tundra Nation. Is, we know where we live. We know the world that we live in. We're the shitposters,
idiots.
Right? Yeah, we're idiots. We're stupid. We rag on people for being stupid while being more dumb than the people that we rag on. That's our genius. Think about that for a second.
Minus one guy.
Nah, think about that for a second. Really, boil it down. Boil it fucking down. See, that's how you know somebody's an idiot, when they just say, boil it down. Think about it for a second.
Think about it for a minute.
They do the wrist flourish, right? Right? But so this guy says, wait, is this a Tundra Tactical video that isn't all sarcasm and is genuinely helpful? Yes, it was, actually. There has been, I never thought, I don't mean to feel like I'm, I know that there's a bit out there of you know, me being the egotistical maniac and everything like that. But for the people who know me, you guys know that I'm not actually like that. I just play an egotistical maniac on TV or on the internet. But I really am. The stuff you see on our channel, if you're new here, the stuff you see on our channel, it's a bit. Like, it is really a bit. Like, I want you to be a shooter. I want you to be an invested member of our community, and I want you to be responsible. I want you to be cool. I want you to have fun. I want you to like the people around you. And I want you to do that while watching me roast the ever-living fuck out of everybody else. Right? Courtesy of my genius writer, my great camera guy, my wonderful co-host, and all of the other people who support me being able to do that. I want that to happen. Because I want you to understand that this entire channel is a fucking travesty and a joke. It is. Like there is literally no reason why you should be watching this channel right now. You should unsubscribe from us right now, because
you
know
all
what?
should be doing like much better with your lives.
You have more valuable things to do. But here's the thing. You're fucking here. And a lot of you, okay, for shame, have been here for years.
Yeah.
Or at
also
least
we're calling
episodes.
for mental help for you.
Yeah, just as good psychiatric solutions. Check them out today.
Carnage Cares, get on board.
Yep. So, like, is there a video out there that we do that's not all sarcasm? Absolutely. Like, here's the thing.
I can name at least 3.
Yeah.
Like right up the top of my head.
So, between last week and like 6 months prior, you know, when the kind of scare of COVID started happening, right? That's when I started getting emails. For the first time in my YouTube career, I started getting emails from random people, random fans, saying, "What should I do?" And like, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where just I'm not talking about your best buddy. I'm not talking about your brother Ben, right? I'm not talking about Chase. I'm not talking about Alex. I'm not talking about Volk or like anyone who knows us or you or me. I'm talking about some fucking random person on the internet says, "I don't know what to do. What should I do?" There's a responsibility there, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that probably hit home pretty hard.
It does. It really does. Like, and it hits home, I think, maybe, like, I don't want to put ourselves in a box or put anybody else in a box, but I think it hits a little harder home to us because we put so much effort into convincing people that we are a joke. But yet there are still people out there, and I love them. Like, I love you guys. Like, the people who have reached out to me to ask for genuine help. You know, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. I'm an asshole. But I'm willing to help. If you want to pick my brain about guns, shoot me an email. I'll respond to you. I promise you I will. Like, if you're genuine about it and you're not just like shit posting me like I shit post you, like, if you're genuine about it, I absolutely will talk to you. But when I got that first email about 6 months ago, like 5 months ago, I was just like, it was like the Keanu Reeves, like, whoa. Like, it was like that moment. Like, there are so many better people to talk to about this, and this person chose to email me. Oh boy. Yeah. I have a responsibility now.
Oh, they need help.
Well, not only do they need help, but now I have a responsibility. Like, I've got to respond to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I've had the luxury...
How do you act on that, right?
Well, yeah, I've had the luxury of working in the retail side of the firearms industry for a long time, and I know how to do this. Even though I play a giant douchebag and shit poster. And in mostly reality, I follow the same role, but...
Bryce sent you a text.
Oh, Bryce sent me a text. Oh, God, what am I doing wrong now, Bryce? That is Todd Fossey sending me a message. I don't have anything from Bryce. Anyways, Yeah, I got nothing from you, Bryce. That's the reason I'm not responding to it. Let's see. Yep, literally nothing from you. Make sure you sent it to the right person. I get this email for the first time like 6 months ago, and I'm like, oh shit. I have to come up with like a genuine response to this, like a non-snarky comment. And then a day later, and 2 days later, and 3 days later, like for like the last 6 months, I've been getting emails on not a constant but a very consistent basis, maybe 2 to 3 a week, from new shooters saying, what do I do? How do I do this? And so we had at some point the realization of saying, okay, let's keep the humor, or keep parts of the humor, but let's actually make some videos that are less snark and more educational, but still kind of mix the two together. You know, give somebody who's not into guns a reason to keep watching. You know, because when you have that like raw educational stuff, it gets boring really quickly. I mean, let's be honest here. Like firearms law and like interstate, or not interstate, but like state specific firearms purchasing law, it's not entertaining subject material. It's a statistic class. It's dumb.
That's kind of something we talked about with Curtis a little bit, is in terms of the actual science of that. It can get pretty fucking boring.
That's not a text, Bryce. It's a Facebook message. Get it right. Yes, I did, and it looked great. Thank you. So I got enough of these, and I was just like, well, fuck. Like, I don't know. When was the first kind of, like, semi-serious video that we did? Like 3 months ago? 2 months ago?
Yeah, I think it was maybe a little bit longer than that. You're talking about the new gun owner one, right?
So, you know, we did this kind of like...
It's been about 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, new gun owner series 3-4 months ago. It was a very weird thing to record. I remember recording it and sitting in front of the camera and kind of like reining myself in at first and saying like, okay, I can't be too over the top with this because I want to seem genuine. But then I realized like maybe the reason I seem genuine to a lot of these people is because I'm over the top. And so with this last video, I kind of just let myself loose and just said, you know what, fuck it. We're going to be stupid. We're going to be silly, but we're going to give people information too. And I think that's maybe the reason why you said what you said to me in the pre-show about the video is I stopped caring about like having it be the original idea was like I wanted these series, like the new gun owner tips and tricks videos, to be half Tundra and half, I don't know, pick an educational channel. I wanted it to be half entertainment, half educational, and then I just decided to go full Tundra with it and be stupid and silly, but still be educational at the same time. But I guess like with what he's saying, I felt a bit of a responsibility to answer these questions, and I've literally received hundreds of emails to the point where I can no longer respond to them in like due time, in like, you know, a respectable amount of time. So I just decided, you know what, we need to start making videos on this stuff, and we did. And I'm actually quite proud of the series that we've done. I know it's very different from what people are used to in regards to the snarkiness and everything. It's toned down and kind of pulled back a little bit. But hey, at least in the last video, I still took a fucking kidney punch to the Yankee Marshal, douchebag.
You know, speaking of which, I want to address something real quick, and I think it's like we've got like what 15 minutes left.
Something like that.
This is kind of a good thing to talk about. There was a question about Nut and Fancy. It says, I understand the hate on the Yankee Marshal, but why do you guys hate on Nut and Fancy? And I responded in chat saying we don't hate Nuttin. We don't hate him at all. We just think he's extraordinarily memeable.
Yeah.
He is absurd sometimes.
The bit with Nut and Fancy is I won't go so far as to say I hate the guy. I never met the guy.
Can you make this segment last about 3.5 hours?
Yeah, right.
To explain it.
That's
and then show me
that's
your
kind of
the
bit, right? Yeah, that's good. How many Kel-Tecs can I show while I'm explaining this? For those who love to drink their own urine. So the bit with Nut and Fancy is is Hypo described it perfectly. The guy is the most well, not the most, but one of the most memeable characters on the internet. Simply because he's been around forever. He's literally been around forever. Like, I remember, I'll go so far as to admit, Nut and Fancy was one of the first gun channels I ever subscribed to. Think of that, right? But
God, I want to get him on the show now.
It would almost be like, I really wonder if he would get it. Like, I think I want to hope that he would. And
I think he might.
I'll tell you this right now. Like, if we had him on the show and didn't clue him in to the fact that we were making fun of him, but then got him on and then he picked it up, it would be the best thing ever. Like, if he played into the bit, so. it would be the literal best thing ever, because then we'd know, like, oh, this guy fucking gets it. This guy absolutely gets it. Yeah. So the bit with Nut and Fancy is, if you're unfamiliar with who this is, he's a guy who's very well known for doing extraordinarily detailed reviews on everything. It used to be firearms, and then it turned into like fucking motorcycles, go-karts, knives, like literally everything, just like everything under the sun. So this
is my ring. Let me talk about it for 4.5 hours.
It was just like, it was absurd levels of detail. And so it's
punctuated by really awkward times with his son.
Yeah, and horrid B-roll.
God.
Yeah, and you're right. Like just the most ludicrously awkward times with his son. It's just the most second most joke-worthy content in the firearms world. The most joke-worthy content stuff is the Yankee Marshal, because not only is he a giant douchebag, but he doesn't think that he's a giant douchebag, and he thinks that he's preaching to the masses. Like, the Yankee Marshal is like one of the worst human beings on the face of the planet, and he thinks that he's a fucking superhero. Like, at least we know that we're idiots.
Yeah, and we'll preach that to the heavens.
Like,
but
don't listen to me. Don't listen to Hypo. Don't listen to Eric. Don't listen to Bryce. Don't listen to Volk. Don't listen to anybody from us. Laugh at us. Meme us. Make fun of us. But don't take us seriously. This guy wants you to
form
fucking
your
take
own
him
opinions.
Seriously. Nut and Fancy. I like, Nut and Fancy's on the bubble for me. Like, I want him to be the guy who thinks like he's playing a bit, he's playing a part, but in reality,
like Hillperson Johnny kind of.
Yeah, in reality, I really do think he's taking himself seriously. So I think he errs on the Yankee Marshal side, and which is why we meme the fuck out of him, is because number one, he tees himself up for it all the time. I mean, the faces that guy makes in a video, those are screen capable for days. You know, like screen capable for days. Number two.
So is Aerosaurus. His meme faces.
Yes, yeah, his are good.
On point.
His are good. I can never make fun of the guy though, because he's a literal Rain Man. Like, when it comes to long-range.
And he's got more money than we do.
Yeah. Nut and Fancy is a joke in a casual sense, I guess. Like, I mean that in the nicest way. The guy's been around long enough to actually know what he's talking about, but he takes so long to fucking get there that it's funny. Like, at
6 hours later.
Yeah, at the end of the day, at the end of a fucking marathon session of a single Nut and Fancy video, I might actually be inclined to say, yeah, you know what? I agree with that. Problem is, I never get there, because after 27 minutes, I'm on Pornhub, or like,
yeah.
You know, like
I'm old. I just fall asleep.
Yeah, just come on, man. Just get to the fucking point. You know, it's the Monty Python. Get on with it. You know, it's like it's the literal it's the gun tuber definition of the Monty Python meme. Get on with it. You know, just a bunch of people in armor standing around shaking their swords at you. those, the Yankee Marshal and Nut and Fancy are the two people that we love to hate on here, and there is a significant difference between the two. I would consider Nut and Fancy to be a gun tuber. Stings to say that sometimes.
He's passionate,
but
he's just overly passionate.
Yeah, he's overly passionate. He just takes a million years to get to the fucking point. The Yankee Marshal is just a cave troll who has dirt for brains, and like the best part of him ran down his mom's leg. Like, I'll fucking say it, man. Like, tell me you guys don't out there in Tundraland believe the same thing I'm saying. He's the scum of the GunTube community.
Outright lies.
Yeah.
And slander and just everything just shows his true colors.
He is the literal North Korea of GunTubers. The only reason he's relevant is because he makes himself controversial to stay popular. He's the literal North Korea of the GunTuber world.
Really good way of putting it, actually.
And he's the scum of the fucking earth, well, maybe not earth, but of our community.
Well, the GunTuber community for sure.
Yeah. So, like, with that type of stuff, we don't like him. Nut and Fancy, on the other hand, he might be aight. But he just takes fucking forever.
He's that weird uncle.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the uncle that leaves the knives out around the babies. Just don't trust him. You might love him. Don't trust him. What do we got next? We got Ask Tundra Nation for 9 minutes.
We got a couple. Yeah, let me get rid of some of these here. Let's see. Dumbest myth you ever heard about concealed carry? Good IFAC, AFAC. We left on that one. So,
give it to me.
Let's see. All right. The first question of the night, and probably one of 3 that we can make it through, comes from Pew Pew Park. And he asks, and this is a question that neither one of us can really answer because it's suppressor based.
Oh God!
So, is a YHM Stinger a decent rimfire can to get as a first suppressor?
So that would be a question that I would, my kind of go-to suppressor guy in the chat right now would be Bryce Knutson, or the Real Tundra Bryce, whatever he goes by in the chat, Bryce Knutson.
Between him and Tufu, I would definitely say that's going to be enough information.
Myself and Hypo were really not suppressor guys, not by necessarily choice or design. For me personally, up until very, very recently, and my desire for a suppressor has increased, but I've only ever owned supersonic guns. So I've never really felt the need to have a suppressor. Like, if you have a supersonic gun and you get a suppressor, yes, it makes it quieter, the initial report quieter, but you still have the supersonic crack, which is A, technically not hearing safe, and B, the novelty of that suppressor doesn't really kick in until you start shooting subsonic ammunition. And I might be misguided when I say this, but I think a lot of the reason people buy suppressors is for that novelty.
Sure.
Of having that, man. Like, being on the range, you've got ear pro on the whole day, and you go, oh my God, I can shoot like this. This is the best thing ever. I think that's the reason, at least initially, a lot of the reason why people get into the suppressor game. Then they realize the functionality, the usability, and everything like that, and their interest grows from there. But I think that entry infatuation, if you will, just has a lot to do with the whole, that bit.
Yeah.
So, because...
Not to mention, they just look cool.
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. Because I've never really owned a rifle chambered in a subsonic caliber, or something that is easily chambered in a subsonic caliber, with accessible ammunition or cheap ammunition. Just never felt the need for it. Now that I got my AKV, on the other hand, and that thing's back up and running, I have been really considering it. So I'm kind of new to the suppressor world, and I wish I could answer that question, but my buddy Bryce in chat, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people who are suppressor gurus.
Big Fun, Richard Olson, and we're a
Yeah.
little bit late on this question because Pew Pew Parks said that the ATF has already cashed his check for suppressor last week. That was
There
a
you
month
go.
ago.
There you go. Big Fun says, at Tundra Nation, suppressor will reduce the noise at the shooter's ear for your gun more than ear pro. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I believe that.
I did. Wait, I didn't realize Mac has a new video on the AKV. Interesting. I will have to check that out. Thanks, Bryce. Next question.
Cool. Next question comes from Teleporting Policeman. Says, what do you think about 5.56 AKs? How much heresy can be tolerated? Please call me Synth BTW. Okay, Synth.
Yep.
Teleporting Policeman.
So Synth, I'm. This is kind of similar in vein to the last question here. Like, I'm not an AK person either. I'm just an AK guy. I think that's trademarked at this point. I don't want to get hit for a copyright strike on this video by saying that.
You kind of know a guy, so.
My guess is that the AK community does not really tolerate 5.56 AKs. I think that that the AR guys out there that want an AK are the people that are driving that desire, the desire for AKs chambered in 5.56. The best way I've like been able to describe the AK community is purist to the core. Like, you think the 1911 guys are bad? Talk to an AK builder. Talk to somebody who sits in their garage and rivets AKs. They're the worst.
It's the epitome of.
They're the purest of pure. Exactly. They're the purest of pure. If it's not 5.45 by 39 or 7.62 by 39, you're dead to me. Or maybe 7.62 by 54 are. Like, you're dead to me. So, while I could see maybe the functional value of a 5.56 AK, and while I haven't shot a 5.56 AK, I will say this. One of the coolest guns I've ever shot, one of the coolest machine guns I've ever shot, was the machine gun version of the CMMG Banshee in 7.62 by 39.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Was it the Banshee? Bryce, help me out on that one. It was at the IV shoot. I think it was the Banshee. No, the Mutant. The Mutant. Excuse me, not the Banshee. The Mutant.
Yeah, the Mutant. Yeah, it's like the reverse of the ARAC.
Yeah. That was honestly one of the coolest and most controllable guns I've ever shot on full auto. So, who knows? There might be some value to that statement. Thank you, Bryce. Yeah. These are tough questions for me tonight because it's not really in my area of expertise, if one could really say I had an area of expertise, because really, I'm just a shit poster that relies on other people to do the hard work.
Moving on.
Go on.
Next one comes from Don Raynor.
Don.
And this one's directed at me. He says, Hypo, you live in the desert. How do you keep hydrated if you have to work outside? This is an actual legitimate question. And it's very relevant to this week because it was 120 degrees out today.
Jesus Christ. It was almost like a world record out in your place.
Dude, it was fucking brutal. Yeah, I think the highest that's been recorded, and I've seen it higher, but recorded was 127. And it was creeping today. So how do we keep hydrated out here? Lots of fucking water. And it gets to the point where it's recommended that if you are an outdoor worksman, if you have any type of work outside or in a shop or on an air-conditioned place, you stop working. You stay inside because that heat is just unlivable.
It's very similar, honest to God, it's very similar to us up here during the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you get to a point where you just cannot do anything. You can't
work, yeah. Now, so, if people out there in the Tundra Nation have been in the military, they've heard this statistic before. Under a high work condition in heat, your body sweats at least a quart of water per hour. And so that's at the bare minimum to maintain hydration standard. At the bare minimum, you need to consume a quart of water per hour.
Yeah. And then in these conditions out here, that's typically in a humid environment. And this
Mm-hmm.
is extraordinarily arid. We're talking like less than 5% humidity. So you evaporate that sweat immediately.
Yes. It's
so
gone.
you sweat more and more. Yeah.
So, and that's actually the really dangerous part, is because like in the humidity, it sticks on you. You feel it. You have the sensation
and you retain
of sweating.
That. Mm-hmm.
In that arid climate.
Yeah, and it does in effect cool you a little bit more, but out here.
But in that arid climate, heat stroke and heat exhaustion, that shit sneaks up on you. You don't realize you got it until you fucking got it.
In 50 minutes.
Yeah, you don't realize you got it till you fucking got it. So, if you're working outside, out in the desert, and you haven't pissed in 2 hours, you need to drink some fucking water.
You need to drink a lot of water.
Not a lot of water. You need to sip.
Well,
for a
period
to
start,
of time.
Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something that can get you. And Bryce being an EMT, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the military they always taught us, like, if you haven't pissed in 2 hours and it's 4,000 degrees, the sun hot out, and you start slamming water, that can actually do you harm.
It can. Yeah.
I could be wrong in saying that. Like, I'm not an EMT.
No, you're absolutely right. That's something that we got taught all the way being raised through school when we were in gym is you need to sip. If you drink too much water too fast, too cold water too fast.
Like, that can
Because
fuck
if you drink
up.
cold water, you can go straight into shock.
Mm-hmm. So
it's crazy.
The best way to hydrate yourself in a cold and arid, or not cold, excuse me, that's Minnesotan, a hot and arid environment is to just be constantly sipping water. That's why camelbacks were invented. Essentially, is you have
camelbacks are a lifesaver.
You have that,
literally
just little sippable tube with you at all times. I'm trying to see if Bryce is.
And Ranger, you're not wrong about this. Drink water until you piss so much it's annoying.
Yeah, like
that's good. Make sure that it's coming out in a nice Mountain Dew color.
If it's 100 degrees and you still have to piss, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Like, great example was today, for me. I didn't take a piss at all. I was outside for, I don't know, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I had about 4 sips of water the entire day. Now, fortunately, I work on clinical meth Adderall, so it affects me, but my mind doesn't pick it up until it's too late and I die. So, yeah, not the safest thing in the world, but I don't know. I guess the bit is, like, you don't, with heat stroke and with heat exhaustion, heat stroke specifically, you almost don't feel it until it hits you like a brick
until
in the
it's too
face.
late.
Yeah. Like, I've had heat exhaustion before, to the point where, like, I collapsed.
Same. You get that really gnarly headache, and then everything kind of goes tunnel vision. Then
honestly, yes, the really gnarly headache, but what you fail to mention here is it happens like that. You get the headache, then you're down.
Yeah.
Like, heat exhaustion happens so fucking quickly, because heat stroke, not heat exhaustion, because there's 2 stages of heat related diseases. There's heat exhaustion, which is the, oh man, I don't feel good. Like, I'm getting dizzy, I'm feeling dehydrated.
Nausea, dizzy.
And then there's heat stroke, where you're like, you're done. And the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke, at least in my experience, is literally a snap of the finger. Because a lot of us guys don't acknowledge heat exhaustion. They only acknowledge the problem when they hit heat stroke. Yeah, they only acknowledge the problem when they hit heat stroke, and now it's a serious fucking problem, and they're about 30 seconds away from passing out and breaking their head open on a desert rock when they go knees locked down to the floor and just no hands out in front of them, crack their head open on a fucking rock. And I mean,
absolutely.
If you've ever been,
and these kind of things are going to be good.
No, I was just gonna say, if you've
ever say these are the kind of things.
Hypo, it's all you. It's all you.
I was going to say, these are the kind of things that we're going to have to be kind of cognizant of when we start shooting out here too in the summer. Is we have to start real early. You start your work And going back to the original question, how do you work in the desert? You start very early till the sun comes up.
Prehydrate.
To a little bit beyond that. Prehydrate. And then as soon as the temperature starts rising up beyond that 90 to 100 degrees, which is usually about 10 o'clock in the morning, you're done. You finish for the day. You come back to it maybe 7 or 8 at night when it starts to drop back down into those hundreds.
Yeah, and like I said in the beginning of this question or this statement, is it's very similar to what it is up here in the wintertime. When it's 45, 50, 60, on the very rare occasion anything colder than that, below zero, you don't leave your house. You just don't. I remember when we had the the quote unquote polar vortex roll through a couple of years ago, and even last year we had a polar vortex roll through last year. It got down to 76 below zero where I live. It literally killed my car. Like, just the ambient weather killed my car. It never worked again after that. Like, heat doesn't, I don't know, maybe heat does do that to vehicles, but I've never been in a heat that does that to vehicles. Cold does that to vehicles.
It fucking kills batteries like crazy.
Cool. Bryce and I think it was the 224 Valkyrie music video shoot that we did. When we filmed that video, we were out for about 6 hours in a consistently about close to 50 below zero temperature with the wind chill, not ambient, but with the wind chill. And it was so cold that we had to wrap the camera in hand warmers with duct tape to keep it working.
Jesus. Yeah, Bryce was telling me about that at Shot.
Yeah. Like, that's how cold it was. And Albert Trujillo says, "What the hell is a polar vortex?" It's about as terrifying as it sounds.
Dude.
Okay, 40 below. 40 below. Bryce says, "I think it was only 40 below." It was cold as fuck. It was cold as fuck.
Yeah, those polar vortexes, man, those things come on quick. My sister was in Michigan, and it was 78 one day. Halfway through the day, it dropped down to negative 20, and then it was back up to 85 the next day.
That's pretty intense,
like,
honestly.
What the fuck? Yeah, it's a mega swing.
Yep. But
all right, you think we got time for one more question?
We got time for one more. Yeah.
It's from N7, so
right. We'll give it to him.
I figure we should do it. All right. Here we go. While it's no-brainer to use safety equipment like Eye and Ear Pro at the range, what is your opinion on using it during a home defense situation? Follow up to the previous question, do you train at all without using eye and ear protection? It wouldn't make sense to equip it while having to use a CCW. That's a really good question, actually.
Yeah, Hypo, take it.
So, during a home defense situation, you're probably not going to have the opportunity to put ear and eye pro on. That being said, though, I always carry like Safariland, like little impulse earplugs, just in case I need to use it or I have time for it. And that's kind of a personal decision based on severity of what's going on. But there is probably no way in hell that somebody breaks into my house, I'm going to go for my ear pro and put some glasses on. No, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to wind up damaging my hearing, which is why we probably should also have suppressors.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Should you train without this stuff? Fuck no.
Well, so
No.
so that statement actually brings up kind of an important point. And so my response to this question is, how do you phrase the original question?
Is it a no-brainer to use safety equipment while it's no-brainer to use it at the range, what's your opinion on using it during a home defense situation?
Yeah. No, you don't use it during a home defense situation. You were absolutely correct in saying the literal last thing on your mind when a window's getting kicked in or a door's getting opened, when you hear that bump in the night, the literal last thing on your mind is eye pro, ear pro.
Yeah. Is it my hearing and my vision over my life is my question.
Yeah, no, I'll happily sacrifice that to not just keep my life safe,
but my family's.
Ellie, Megan, my vision and my hearing literally means nothing to me in comparison to those two things in my life. That there is nothing in my life, nothing quantifiable in my life that is more important than my daughter and my wife. Period. Like,
Yeah.
like if somebody said to save your wife and your daughter's life, gouge your eyes out, I'd do it without thinking. I'd kind of be pissed, but I'd do it without thinking. Like, it just does it to me. It doesn't matter. Now, obviously, that's kind of an extreme example, but when you boil it down to a stress situation, and we talk about like let's make the parallel to people who have ballistic helmets or plate carriers, right? There's no fucking way you're getting that shit on in a home defense situation.
No, there isn't.
There's
there isn't.
literally
I
no...
have those mostly for the memes.
Yeah, for the memes, for cool factor, for
cool factor, for shit hit the fan, got a bug out.
Yeah, exactly. But the people who are sitting there convincing themselves that it's for, oh, I'm gonna strap it up and I'm gonna meet that person in my fucking hallway, all right? And I'm gonna take 7 rounds to the chest and I'm gonna drop their ass. No, that's not the case. And what's unfortunate about this community is there are plenty of people out there that genuinely believe that they're gonna have enough time to don their fucking plate carrier M50 mask. They're gonna huck a CS gas, grenade out the fucking door.
They're gonna be the intro to fucking Commando.
Volk, I'm looking at you, buddy.
Fucking grenades on their bandolier and
Jake. No, I'm just kidding. I think a better response to this question would be another question. How often, like, let's say you wear glasses or contacts. How often do you train with your firearm without your glasses and contacts on? Because that's probably the condition you're going to be using that firearm in.
For me, all the time, because I hate wearing my glasses. But
like I said, let's say you wear contacts, right? You're not going to get up, window breaks, you're going to be like, stand by one, right? How often do you go to the range and train without your contacts on, or without your contacts in? Because in reality, the most likely case for that home defense situation to happen is without that. And let's say you're seeing 16 of fucking everything without your contacts in. How do you figure all that shit out?
You better train. I mean, and that plays a lot into your eye dominance and stuff too. A good point. Yeah. Like your actual sight picture is based on what you actually see. Yeah. So if you have no contacts in, you're gonna get double vision.
If you're seeing 3 different sight pictures, which sight picture is the right one?
Yeah.
The only
I would be more apt to train that way than without eye protection and hearing protection.
I think that a lot of us here in the chat right now, at least the people that have made it this far, the Bryces, the Tufus, the Big Funs, we've maybe not real world, a lot of us maybe not have real world found ourselves in situations like that, but we've at least had the thought cross our mind and have had that consideration. The people who are out there, like, unironically, like, kitting up, like our fucking NFAC buddy and a bunch of the tactitools out there that are just saying, yeah, I'm going to do this. When this happens, I'm going to do this. Like, they have a set scenario for every fucking thing.
Yeah, that's not the case. And we've said it 1,000 times, Tyler. Whatever you think's going to happen, it's not going to fucking happen.
No plan survives first contact, man. It doesn't. If you've ever been in the military, if you've ever been a police officer, if you've ever been a firefighter, if you've ever been anybody who works in a high stress environment, regardless if it involves violence or not, maybe you're a programmer and you're just trying to meet a deadline. Maybe you're an audio engineer trying to work on a fucking board, right? Like, how often do we run into problems with audio stuff, right? Nothing ever works the way we want it to when we need it to when we need it to work.
And nobody's life's on the line for that too.
Yeah. So you multiply the severity of the situation 5, 10, 100-fold. something legitimately valuable is actually on the line. We're not talking about $1,000 worth of equipment. We're talking about a human being's life, your loved one's life. You know, $1,000 of equipment versus a loved one's life. Like, there's no comparison there. There just is no fucking comparison there. And if you think that you're ready for that, I know I'm not ready for that. I know that when I wake up in the middle of the night thinking there's somebody walking through my fucking hallways, scares the shit out of me. I freeze up. And I got to think about it. I got to work my way through it. There's been times, you know, I used to live
And you're like, oh, it's Bryce. Okay.
Yeah, right. Well before I lived here, you know, when I was only thinking about myself, there were a couple of situations, civilian side, that I had that happen. And you know, you think you're ready, and you freeze the fuck up. You're like, holy shit. You sit down afterwards, you realize it was fucking nothing, but you have that almost existential crisis saying, oh, yikes. I had no idea what my body would actually do, or I had no idea how it actually react. And if you're thinking that you're gonna put eye pro and ear pro on, you're fucking wrong, man. You're just wrong.
You're gonna be lucky if you can make sure that your gun is off safe.
Yeah, that's, you know what, honestly, it's about the best thing anyone's ever said in that type of conversation. Is you should have the literal least moving parts humanly possible. You know, your gun should be out, your gun should be off safe, or you know, even better, a striker fire gun where you don't have to worry about safeties. And you should just be able to go. Because as soon as you introduce other variables to that equation, it becomes exponentially more complicated. And you open yourself up to an infinitely large number of failure points. And like I know guys that have shot for years that have special forces experience that still don't feel comfortable waking up in the middle of the night in their fucking underwear, grabbing a gun and clearing the house. You know, there are people who play it really well on TV or on YouTube, and there are some people, you know, I'll give, you know, not necessarily a guy I like personally, but I respect professionally, a guy like John Lovell. Like, that's the guy I want clearing my house. You know, or you know, what's the fucking, God, Clint Smith.
Clint Smith, Sean Ryan.
Yeah, Sean Ryan, great example. See, Clint Smith literally would just take his dick out and start helicoptering people in the face.
Listen, okay?
Yeah,
okay.
He doesn't even need a gun.
You in the face with my dick.
He's just gonna talk to you. And
you're gonna pop.
Yeah, he's gonna talk to you and say, "If you come any farther, I'm gonna make you advance through a wall of lead." Okay. I hope Clint sees that one day.
Where do I get an alarm system?
Yeah, exactly. Alexa, play Clint Smith quote 1. Okay. If you come any farther, I'm going to make you advance through a wall of lead. Okay. But, no, for the average person that isn't a ranger, that isn't a fucking operator, that isn't, you know, a very proficient police officer that actually takes himself seriously and isn't, you know, just your casual, I'm a cop, I know how to shoot guns. Any of your proficient shooters out there, regardless of military or police experience, like those types of people, they might, and I really stress might be able to get away with donning ear and eye pro prior to an engagement.
And I realistically don't think they would even care to, because really they've had previous encounters where they realized that that's the least.
You know where my ear pro and eye pro lives when I'm at home? In my fucking range peg, dude.
Mine's in my car.
Like, my ear and eye pro isn't gonna save my life.
No.
My ear and eye pro is the literal last thing on my mind in a self-defense engagement. When you're on the street, when you get trapped up in that shitty situation and you gotta draw your gun, how much, based on that adrenaline, how much are you gonna care about getting ear pro and eye pro on? That gun's gonna come out. Your instincts are going to react. Your training's going to take over. You're going to dump rounds. You're not going to hear or see a fucking thing.
Yep. Yeah, and based on statistics, I mean, that's happening at contact distance. You have literal microseconds to react faster than the other person.
So it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
It really won't matter. And
so
that's speaking from not necessarily experience in that topic, but from statistical analysis.
Yeah. I could say from experience. I mean,
yeah, this is not something I like to talk about, though.
Yeah, it's anyway. So I think that's going to be where we're going to wrap it up, Tyler. What do you think?
I think so. Hypo, you did some driving tonight, buddy. I like it. I fucking like you taking charge.
You're welcome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, gotta get you down a little bit, and the train keeps on going. And
I honestly had so much fun today that like I could probably go on for another 2 fucking hours.
I'm sure you could.
I'm so
some of us have to go to sleep.
Yeah, I know, but fuck y'all, because this is my show, and
some of us have stitches in their fucking mouth.
Oof. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. But dude, like today was so much fun, and honestly, like we missed you last week, and it was such a great cap to the evening to have you back on the show, to get the team back together, both in the Tundra Tactical vein and on the Tundra Nation with the live stream. It felt like just everything came back together today, and it was fun. It was so good.
Oh yeah.
So, guys, I want to say thank you very much for spending 2 hours and 21 minutes with us this evening. I believe we are going to end the show here tonight. The 8th, 9th, or 10th episode. One of those 3. I really do have no idea. I think it's the 8th.
Around 8, I think. Yeah. Somebody said 9, but we don't
8,
care
9,
what
10,
they say.
whatever. Like I said, when you get to 100 plus episodes of live stream, you really stop caring about the numbers, and you just care about who's spending the time with you. So, Tufu, Ranger, Brian Wester, Laughter, Richard Olson, yeah, right? Charles, Sexton, Noob.
Laughter.
You guys are the Tundra Nation, and we salute you. We appreciate you. We thank you guys for the time that you spent with us. And this last toast, where we raise our glasses, is to the Tundra Nation. So thank you, Tundra Nation, for joining us this fine evening, this Saturday night. You guys are fantastic. You guys give us the reason and the want to do what we do. Without you, we don't exist. Without you, I never would have met Hypo, and the Man Crush would have never existed. Without you guys, Bryce and I probably would have never reconnected. Without you guys, we never would have played with tanks today. So we really do. Skol. Thank you, Bryson, excuse me. Skol to you, sir. We really owe you guys everything, and we thank you for dedicating literally 2 hours and 22 minutes to absolute buffoonery, shit posting, and nothingness. Please seek therapy. and find better heroes, because as much as we love you, you guys need help. Fuck off. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Cheers. I don't even know how to close this thing anymore. I'm too drunk. Bye.